title of this week's US CQM Forecast Alert is "The US economy continued to grow despite political risks after the presidential election." This week's CQM and PCA forecasts have updated several important monthly economic indicators. All but net exports contributed to the upward revision of economic growth. The U.S. economy continued to grow. The upward revision of the economic growth rate on the expenditure side was as large as 0.64%. The PCA forecast had large effects mainly from the real money supply and industrial production index in October. The economic growth rate has been revised upward by 0.87% to 4.72%. So far, stock markets have been reacting positively to the presidential election results. President Trump is facing the third coup of the fraud election. From this table, we can see that this coup is much tougher than the past two coups, such as Trump-Russian collusion and Trump impeachment. Trump's big mistakes are the appointments of Christopher Wray and Gina Haspel. This slide shows Professor Dershowitz's guidance on Trump's victory. A key is whether or not President Trump can prevent Biden from getting the certified 220 electoral college. Who should we trust in fake news and SNS using unfair censorship? Attorney Powell, who joined the Trump defense team led by Rudy Giuliani, seems to be very reliable. Whether or not Trump will concede is answered best by Trump's ex-wife, Ivana. For Dominion vote counting machines, it's best to believe what a Dominion executive said. The director of the Department of Homeland Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security, Christopher Krebs, said, "The November 3rd election was the most secure in American history." No wonder why he was fired by Trump. Conclusion from this week's US CQM Forecast Alert. The stock market is tolerant of the turmoil in presidential election results, and the V-shaped recovery of the US economy continues. As for the presidential election, if Biden cannot get the certified 270 electoral votes, Trump could be elected president by a contingent election on January 6. This slide shows additional information about the original developer of CQM and theoretical papers.